I am Tessa-Marie and welcome to the Morning Blessings. How are you feeling today? Today is Thursday and it is October 10th, 2024. Wherever you are in the world, I hope it's better for you today. As you know, the storms were all over Florida, the hurricane, and some people they're having a really high joy. How are you? How are you feeling today? Hello. I cannot pronounce J-Marie. How are you guys feeling today? Today is Thursday and I am trusting that the weather is amazing where you are. So let's enjoy ourselves and let's get the morning blessings on the way. So sometimes you just get this thing and you know you have to do something about it. It's not planned, but it works out. And this is why today's morning blessing is average. Is nothing to aspire to. So sometimes we have that feeling that if we just pass an exam, it's good enough. I don't do this, sorry. I don't talk to people like that about things like that. So sorry about that. I will not respond to you. So anyway, here we go. The thing about aspiring to be average is not good enough. We need to aspire to be better than average. Good morning, Loretta. How are you feeling this morning? Maybe average makes somebody feels comfortable. Aspiring higher is not going to be good at all. So no point in doing this, right? So you say, I'll just sit here. I like it. It's an average feeling. I can get there. I don't have to push myself further. No, you have to push a little further if you want to be successful. And that is the thing that we all have to do. So let me just press this thing and get rid of this. So it's, so we have to remember that average is not the best place to stop by. Average is measured by comparison. Hello, Lisa. Good morning. How are you feeling today? Average is nothing to aspire to. Average becomes a block holding you back. So when you are just going with average, you're keeping yourself from getting where it is you desire to go. Good morning, Lisa. How are you feeling? It's cold here, but we're getting through. Good morning, sister. How are you feeling this morning? So yes, when you aspire to be average, and sometimes it's not your idea. Somebody puts it in your mind and they tell you it's okay to be at that level. But if it is something that's triggered in you that tells you average is not good enough, then you have to take up and take off and do something about it. When you start looking at being average, you start looking at comparing yourself to others. And you say, well, that person only did this much. They only did that. Good morning, Nancy. How are you feeling today? How is Lynn doing? And one of the things we have to remember is that average becomes a block holding us back. And if you're average, and it means that there's something else that you're afraid to go into. If you are only always resting on average, and you're like everybody else, you have to question yourself. Am I happy with that? Or are you just realizing this is as far as I can go, and you have this attitude in your face that, oh well, and here are all the reasons I have. You're older now, so it's okay. You do not have to stress yourself because you're really older now. You just have to, just go with the flow because you are older now. But that is not good. Thank you, Nancy. And that is not too good. To say to yourself, I'm older now, what do I expect? Maybe I have to have a bad knee, I must have this. And why though? Why? I went to get the pneumonia vaccine at the drugstore, and this lady was in front of me, a little old lady, and she was 104. She was walking, and she said, I don't have any prescription I'm taking, but I need this vaccine. So her doctor had given it to her, and she went, and then I looked at her and I'm thinking, hear what she said? I do not have any other prescription on there, and the woman said, you're 104, la la la. She went through her thing, and I turned back, and I watched her walk out of there. And I'm thinking, I wish I could ask her some question. What it is that got you to be 104 and able to walk slowly, but walk deliberately, taking that step. Did somebody tell her if she was average, you're 104, you shouldn't even be walking? But she was walking. She wasn't maybe more than 5 feet tall. So maybe it was just one of those things. And it amazed me. So when somebody says to you, you're older, if you say something is wrong with you, and they say, what do you expect? You're 40, you're 80, you're 90, you're 100. It's up to you to swallow this. Literally, it's really up to you to absorb it and say, well, yeah, I guess so. No. Because being average is comparing yourself to somebody that is just average themselves, and that is what you're aspiring to. And they said average is nothing to aspire to. What do you expect? That's what the other question they'll ask you. What do you expect? That's how the economy is. What do you expect? Price of food is like that. You haven't got enough money. What do you expect? You say to a friend it's expensive. Yeah, what do you expect? Everything is expensive. That's the answer. But the thing is, you can change that. I know you cannot change the economy and things being expensive, but you can make a decision to stick to a plan, or make a decision before you go shopping to shop in your pantry. I always say that. Open your pantry and shop, and then see what you already have and ask yourself the question, why am I buying this when I already have it at home? Because they say you should have it. Because the supermarket has put it on sale right as you enter the supermarket. Brian always used to say to me, we know the habits of consumers. It is studied. You might have in mind what you came for, but we are going to put in your mind what we want you to buy. Because we put it right in front of you. And he said we do that, and it's called the loss leader. So we'll take a loss on it, but we know once you're in here, you're going to walk around the store and pick other things. And he said, we know you so well that everything that is at eye level is the most expensive. Why? The manufacturer pays for that shelf space. So when you go to the supermarket, remember their commission, their profit is based on pennies, not on the items. They make their money on the shelf space. So anything that you can see from your mid-chest to your eye is expensive. That doesn't mean it's better than the one you have to bend down to get. But many of us consumers, we just reach. We do not bend down. We do not try to pick something off that's lower. And they know that. So they play the game with us and we fall for it. So we become the average consumer, does not shop on the lower shelves. The average consumer comes in and they notice the sale, whether they have it at home or not, they buy it again. And I always say to those I coach, because it's on sale, that doesn't mean you have to buy it. But it's on sale. And the reason why you do that is because you do not know what you have in your pantry. And that is why you're considered an average consumer. And you're an average because of where you are in your life, right? So then, not everyone can win. So you have people, and they start that very early in a child. So they lost, or they were lower. Somebody got 60% and they got 59 or 70 and 80. I remember the lesson I learned. When I came out of 40 something, I came number 3 in the class. And my dad said to me, how come there are 2 people ahead of you? I said, they were better than me. He said, nobody's better than you. He said, they applied themselves better. They studied more. They wanted more out of this. They wanted to be number 1. But you did the average amount of work to make sure you just pass through onto the next form. So that is why average is nothing to aspire to. That doesn't mean that you won't get a job. That doesn't mean they won't hire you and pay you the same salary as the person who already has better than average. What it means though is that for you, because you made it, you got there, you was, me, I'm lucky I have this. Or somebody will tell you. And when Oprah Winfrey got her first job paying her $21,000, hi Peter, how are you feeling this morning? How is Malaysia? Her father said to her, she wanted more, 21 or 22,000. Her father said to her, oh, what are you complaining about? You're lucky you have a job and you'll get a pension. And she said that. She said that he figured you're making 22,000 a year, you should be happy because you have a job. But it's a job. And if we take the word literally, it means like hard work. So we have to change that also. He couldn't see more than average for his daughter. And maybe it was how he was taught to be average. You know, be part of the hood. You're lucky you have a job. How many times have you heard that? You're lucky you can do that. And really, it's not luck. When I told people I was retiring, they said to me, wow, you must be lucky. No, luck had nothing to do with that story. I decided to retire at a certain age, and I applied myself to be physically, financially, mentally, emotionally ready for retirement. I had no regret of saying I should have kept working. I never doubted that my choice because it was planned and I wanted better. I had a plan. What do you want? It's not the question you wait for somebody to ask you. Good morning, Arita. That is the question you have to ask yourself. If you aspire to be better than the average human being, you have to continuously ask yourself what it is you want. You. And do not accept those that tell you, you know, you are older now, you should be happy with where you are. No, the lady's 104 and she walked out of Shoppers Drug Mart like she was 109 years old, right? That's what I thought. And then, what do you expect? I expect more from me, not from you. I don't want you to lead me. I don't want you to tell me what to do. I already know I have to push forward because I have a vision of the vision of my future that you do not have and you will never comprehend. Not everyone can win. That one really, needles me, especially after my father taught me that lesson. You didn't apply yourself. You only got this far and you stopped. So, Aesop Fables tells you of the tortoise and the hare, right? The rabbit, I call him a rabbit. He ran. When he got under the tree, he sat down. I will get there because he's so slow. But he was consistent. He kept pushing for it. So you have a goal, you have something to reach for. And as you're reaching for it, somebody says, hey, where are you going? Why are you so greedy? It's not greed. It's that inner satisfaction. That is why people in their 90s that are really successful do not stop. And there is the difference. There is the difference with all of us. The average person will decide, oh, I got as far as I can go. I'm just going to relax and take it easy for now. That's the average person. I wanted to be debt-free, so I'm not going to continue. And I used to refuse to release a loan from any of my staff if they did not have a savings plan attached to that customer's file. I'll say, no. You're just going to make them average. You're paying off the loan, and you're not telling them what to do with that extra money that you have saved them. You are supposed to do more than that. And I said, furthermore, that will make you do better than average. You now have a customer in your back pocket for life that will follow you to Timbuktu. I know that because I did that. And that customer, you paid off the loan and you said, okay, your loan payment is less than your payment on all these lines of credits and credit cards. So you're paying $200 for the loan, but you have another $200 over here. You don't take the entire 200, I would say, but you take 100, take 50, take 75. Give them something to be hopeful for. And that is, you stop them from being average, being one of the hood. Can you imagine, those of you who can imagine this, 2 customers shows up in 206, 69 and 67, husband and wife. They bought a house for $15,000 when they got married. And when they came and they had this team, the team member doing it, he called me in and said, I need your help. I walk in there and they need a mortgage on that property for $269,000. And I didn't even know what to say. And then he gives me the blow. He said, you know what? The house, they said to us, the house is run down. So he said to me, I cannot give them what they really need, which is another $27,000, because it will require a full appraisal and it will not pass. So I had to find out, why did you guys get in debt? Oh, well, our credit card. I said, oh, refinancing on your mortgage is using your house as a piggy bank. So anyway, do you think they're going to pay this off? They couldn't. So there's a $27,000 loan plus this mortgage. Isn't that cycle going to continue? Nobody told them to aspire to pay off that mortgage before they got to be that age. Nobody told them, do not wait for the 30 years they gave you and do it in 15 or do it in 20. So that is why many people aspire just to be average. And average is not good enough. I put a carrot in front of people when they come and they have a mortgage. I said to them, this is it. I said, the most exhilarating and sweetest experience you'll have in your life is the day you do not have a mortgage payment. The day you do not have to decide before you touch your money that somebody reaches in and take it. Granted, you have a house. But the day that you look at your account and your money is going nowhere except where you want it to go, that is the sweetest experience you will have. And many of them have lived to have that. And this is something we have to remember. Average is to go for the 30-year term. Average is to do the 25-year term. Average is to use your house as a piggy bank and put a line of credit. It's like you had a mortgage on your house. A line of credit is a second mortgage, which was frowned on in the old days. So they decided, oh, we are going to call it a line of credit. It's like you paid off your house and you said to the bank, I just love giving you money, take it again. And when you're writing those checks or you're swiping, the worst things they invented for us is the swiping of the cards and the putting the cards. If in the old days you had $5,000 in your hand, you knew you had $5,000. When you spent $100, you knew you were below $5,000. But in those today, when you swipe your credit card, you have no idea until the bill comes how much you have spent. And that is an average person's behavior. But if you want more, you have to do better than everyone else, aiming to do better. It's not greed, it's satisfaction. It's being able to relax and not going back to work at Walmart at 71. That somebody told me yesterday that somebody is working and she's 71 years old, and I asked why. Well, she wanted more money. Where were you? So we have to realize the decisions we made all those years ago is affecting our life today. As I said, your choices and decision. Decision we make yesterday affects our life today and backwards. So if you made the choice to be mortgage-free, debt-free, and use your money and go slowly and accomplish what it is you desire to get in your life, that's a choice. Hi, Jilly. But if you decide that you're going to use all your money to pay off debt and for the rest of your life, then that too is a choice. So there are two choices. And whichever choice you make, somebody is going to turn to you and ask you, how did you do this? How come? When you're making a choice to don't spend the money on something, there's always going to be somebody that will tell you, Well, why didn't you do that? I remember, okay? The garage was packed with heaven knows what. So we weren't parking in the garage. And of course, we could get a new door. But I looked at it at the time, I don't need this door. The garage doesn't need to be done. Hi, Yuko, good morning. How are you feeling today? So my neighbor said to me when I did change it, we thought you would never change the door. I said, you know what? I have never been able to put a door on the stove and cook it and drink from it. Have you? That's all I said to her. So sometimes people look at what you're doing, but there's this saying that we should give to younger people. Live like nobody else now, so you can live like nobody else later on. It's a choice. It's still black and white. It's still yin and yang. So if you're a spendthrift now, it will affect later on. If you are spending, observing the future, and planning for retirement, you will end up living like nobody else later on. So make the choices when you're young, and make the choices not only about money, about your body, about your physical. Make a choice. Our body tells us, hey, this is what you shouldn't eat. But it tastes so good. But they said it's nice on the lips and it lands on the hip, something like that. So we go in and we eat stuff, or we refuse to get up and stretch for 20 minutes, or we refuse to drink water. It's going to affect us later on. So average is to expect that you are an average senior citizen. But it's better than that. There are seniors that do not have all these health things. And when somebody says to me, I have elderly parents. I knew their parents' age. And I said to her, so what do you think about me? Oh, I don't think that about you, she said. I didn't say anything else. I just let it fall. It's what it is, how you portray yourself, how you bring yourself forward, what you think about yourself. Average is nothing to aspire to. Good enough is nothing for you to say, you know what, I did good enough. No, because the person that got 90% on the exam still has that. And they will say, well, you know what, they're a little bit better because I know they did better, so I'm going to give them the promotion. Average is not good enough. So, hello, Glenn. Not everyone can win. That's a stupid one for them to say. You should be satisfied. Like Oprah's father told her, you getting $22,000 a year, you should be happy with that. You are lucky. No, I'm not lucky. I want more. I am thirsty. I want to have more. Because Chris Rock told us, hey, the money you get is not going to make you happy, but it is going to allow you to have experiences you would not have if you did not have the money to have these experiences. So what type of experiences you're looking for? Average? Or do you want to go and climb the CN Tower? Do the skywalk. I did it at 70. I went to Peru and I climbed the mountain to Machu Picchu. I went to Geneva and I went all across. From Geneva to France to Italy. But the only way you do that is you have to have the money. I'm not saying you shouldn't use your credit card, but when you come home, you should be able to pay it off, right? That's how you plan it. Look at so-and-so. She's doing okay. Well, good for her. I'm glad she's doing okay. Do not tell me to look at this person that's doing okay. When you use the word okay, you suddenly make me feel angry. It's like one day, I'm reading Jillian's report card, and the teacher said, oh, she'll be fine. Man, was I angry. Brian was kicking me underneath the table at the school meeting, and I said to her, what do you mean by fine? Is she sick? Does she have a temperature? What's wrong with her? And you guys wouldn't like what I said to her. Neither did Brian. I said, explain this to me. And then she said, well, I said, I don't know. You wrote this. And she said, well, I said, okay, let's get this straight. Did you tell little Johnny Blue Eyes' parents that he was going to be fine? Or did you just decide my black-skinned girl is going to be fine? The Brian was red like a beet. I don't know. It turned green after that. You know how they go. So anyway, no, she's just shy. I said, that's your problem? And you want my daughter in this country to be shy? And you think it's okay for her to be shy? We'll fix that. So we made sure that Jillian dropped it. And when she went back to school, the teacher sent a note, I said, wow, what a change. No, because she was shy, you want to keep her back, or it didn't keep her back, but tell me she'll be okay. Okay is not good enough. That's average. And I don't produce average people. Oh, stop working so hard. Stop working so hard. Somebody said to me, for the amount of money your father have, you shouldn't be working so hard. And I said, really? That's my father's money. It doesn't belong to me. It still doesn't belong to me. And he's dead and gone. So it's still his. So where is mine? I have to create it. Mother have, father have. Blessed is the child that has their own, they say in scripture. Go out and make it. Do not depend on them to feed you and clothe you after a time. Go and do better. The goal is to do better than the parents that bore you. To exceed. So they can feel satisfied that, hey, I went this way and my children took it that way. Settling and staying there and waiting with your thing. What did the man say? The songwriter said, waiting for this to come to you is sitting there and expecting somebody to fix it for you. Nobody is going to give it to you. You have an idea, you have to get up and work on the idea because no one else is going to work on this idea for you. You do not do it, and it is the idea's time to be alive. It will find some other place to make it alive. And you might turn, and as I said, when somebody is talking about regret, they shrink. They literally become smaller this way. They're sitting. They bring their shoulders in. They cross their legs at the knee. And they have that far away look in their eye, although you were right there. And they're saying to you, well, man, I regret it. I had this idea and this person stole it. No, they didn't. The idea needed to be birthed. It came to you and you let it fall. And it had to be birthed, so somebody else took it. So now you have regret. And this thing called regret, it is always etched on the person's brow. And you have to know that you cannot do anything about it now. It is etched on your brow, and there isn't anything you can do about it now. So if you already know that, avoid it. Something falls in front of you, question it. Ask, if you were me, what would you do about this situation, this opportunity that is daunting, fearful? Because average is not good enough. You have to do better than average. Aspire to do more because it makes you feel better. Are you not tired? I get that all the time. I don't know what tired is. Oh, well, when you do your live, you do not have a lot of people. I don't care. You have to know me well enough to do. I know that I will do what I desire to do because I desire to do it. If you want me to do something, tell me not to do it. Instantly, I will do it. The minute you tell me you should do that, well, you have an issue. I'm not going to do it because you said I should. No, should is not my name. So we have to remember that we have to decide to do what it's lovely we want to do. When somebody says, you know what, you should really do that. I'm not saying you can ignore it. Take it, mull over it, and ask yourself that question. Is that my version of the vision of what I desire to do in my life? No, it's not. Then don't do it. Keep asking, if you were me, what would you do now? And the energy of the world will answer you. The voice will come to you. And when it comes, and it's that tiny little idea, do not say, oh, it's just me thinking of that. No, you're not that brilliant. None of us are that brilliant to come with a tiny idea, and if you pull on it, you can unravel the entire sweater. No. take it and run with it. Because you know why? You are not lucky to have a job. That is not the answer to life. Why are you pushing so hard? After all, you have a pension. You know what? The pension is for everyday expenses. You want more than that? You have to push hard. The pension will pay for your living expenses. You want more than that? You have to push hard. It's like when I go on a tour, and my cousin Audrey goes with me. Sometimes we look at it. So she says, Audrey, the tour is this. But you see, if we spend $1,500, we have a better chance. We get a better hotel, we get better this. And sure, let's go for it. But if all we had was just this, then all we do is there. When we know there is another mountain to climb. And that is, yes, the money brings it. But when you are sitting on your backside and you see an opportunity and you refuse to take it because you say, oh, I'm good, and as long as I can have something to eat. No, it's not good enough. Stimulate your senses. Ask yourself to give you a little bit more. No matter what it is, maybe you're tired of buying the $15 bottle of wine, but they tell you, try this one, it's $25, and just for the heck of it, you buy it. And then you get home and you pour it in a paper cup. Are you okay? You look for sure for the nicest crystal that you bought, so when the emperor comes to visit, you can serve him from your crystal glass. And you pour it and you sit and you drink. So that is what it is. You always aspire to do better than where you are, because average is nothing to aspire to. Stop craving to be better. Relax. Sleep in. I get up at 4:15. People who don't even sleep with me want to tell me when to get up. I get up at 10. I say, well, knock yourself out. When I get up after 4:15, later than that, I feel as if I have to catch up with this day. It's a race. Because I want to come here prepared mentally. I want to be able to meditate. I want to be able to muse. I want to be able to see the world from a different side. I want to feel the energy of a cold fall morning. I want to stand in the garden just with my robe on and inhale and feel the cold air kissing my cheeks. I want that. And I cannot get it if I get up at 8 a.m. By then, the entire world is up. So for me to get what I love in my life, hi, Angelina, how are you feeling today? I need to go out there early and let the cold air kiss my face. Because aspiring, average is nothing to aspire to. If you only want to be an average person in what you do, then you might as well put the stripe of the herds of average. It's all up to you. Choose. When you look at successful people, thank you. That's lovely to hear that. When you look at successful people that are constantly successful, they do not stop. When they get to where they aspire to be, they okay, what's next? Have you ever had a busybody of a child like I have right now, Kylie? As soon as you have some, okay, Grammy, are we doing the blinds now? We do the blinds. Okay, Grammy, what's next? What are we going to do next? When somebody asks you what's next, that person wants more. So when she says, what's next? I say, okay, well, let's go down the stairs and put the shoes together. So, and now she learns. So when she comes home from school and she says to her mom, oh, the shoes have to go this way. So when you stand, you put your feet in this way. So the mother said, okay. She said, that's what Grammy told me, so I have to fix it before we go. What's next? So where you are today, ask yourself this question, what next? What can I do to give me what it is I desire? Do not stop dreaming. Do not stop aiming for better. Aspiring to be like everybody else is nothing to aspire to. Then you become part of the herd. And really, you're not part of that herd. So sending you light and joy on this wonderful morning. Remember, just push a little harder and hold on a little tighter, because you can do it. Let's see what we have here. Hi, Nancy, Rita, Angelina, Lisa, Julie, Dawn, and Loretta. Wonderful humans. Thank you for joining. At the beginning of the live, this person has been sending me emails, and they want to fix something for me. I don't care. The email they sent, oh, I checked your YouTube channel and you could do so much better. I have the answer to that. Then do it. The thing is that I do it. Wherever it goes, that's its business. My job is to show up. My job is to go do this YouTube live at 11 a.m. today. My job is to have a conversation with somebody today. My job, somebody asked me, could you come and do an Instagram with me at 4 p.m.? I said, sure. It doesn't matter to me, because if you're doing it, it's like writing books, right? They say to me, well, your book, you wrote your book. Is it a bestseller? I don't give a shit whether the book wants to be a bestseller or not. My job was to write it. I did it. It's like, so then regret will not be etched on my brow about wanting to write a book. I write it and I put it out there. Like Brother Andre, if you have been to Montreal, you have to go to St. Joseph's Oratory. Brother Andre was one of 22 children from a Catholic family. He couldn't read or write. He sat at the presbytery, and all he could do, wanted to be a monk or a priest. They wouldn't let him because he couldn't, but they allow him to open the door so when people come in at the presbytery. In front of him was a mountain called Mount Royal. He decided he wanted to make I don't know what he said, made a building for St. Joseph's, right? So I don't know all of it, but he built, in that shrine, St. Joseph's Oratory, you will see when the polio was really big and all these crutches and how people healed from that, and they hung them all through this basilica. It's up on Mount Royal. Somewhere along the line, somebody said to him, but you do not have a roof on that house you're building for St. Joseph. And his answer was, if St. Joseph wants a roof on his house, he'll have to help me to find it. And today, it's a huge, huge tourist attraction in Montreal. It's called St. Joseph's Oratory on Mount Royal. So the other side of the street was the presbytery, and he was looking up at the mountain. He had nothing to do, but he started. And his little bedroom, typical, was a little bed and a night table. And it's still there. They show it to you. So it doesn't matter where you start or how you start or how big a start you make. It always is how you end up. Have a great day. Love you. Oh, there you go.